So I think now that we are heading towards the end of the year, it's a great time to reflect on your relationships. And this can be friends, relatives, romantic relationships, whatever it is. I think looking back over a year, you can kind of assess how your relationships have gone, because relationships are really fundamental to us as human beings. They create our sense of identity. And I think 2025 made a lot of people reflect on how much they were giving and receiving in relationships. For me, my takeaway is that I've learned some crucial things this year about relationships. And there's some questions that I would ask myself going into 2026 about relationships. Firstly, I think it's really important to reflect on how much do you get out of a relationship with somebody, a connection, a relationship, whatever it is. Are they interested in your life? Do they ask after you and your life? That's really important. If they don't, if they kind of only pop up to tell you about their life, that's something to observe. Are they consistent in your life, or do they just kind of float in and out when it suits them? Are they somebody that disappears for weeks on end? If you have a friendship or a relationship with a relative that maybe you don't speak all the time, that's fine. But do they come back into your life? Are they engaged? Are they making plans to meet with you? What are they giving you? Because I came up with this analogy over Christmas with my sister of kind of a cream egg. Basically, are they giving you a cream egg, or are they giving you just an empty chocolate shell? Because sometimes people can kind of promise what they're going to give you. They can, like a friendship can feel really exciting and promising, or a new connection, and then suddenly you kind of think, oh, well, there's not regular consistent contact here, there's not plans, things fall through, they disappear for ages. So I think the analogy is a little bit crazy, but think about it. Are you getting the full experience? Are you getting the full cream egg filling, or are you just getting an empty shell that kind of looks promising, but when you open it up, there's nothing in there? And a really important thing to consider with future relationships going into 2026 is, if you communicate to somebody that something's upset you, or something in their behaviour, their inconsistency, the way they've made you feel, the way they've talked about you, the way they've stepped over a boundary of yours, if you become the problem, take note of that. Because in my experience, if suddenly you communicating that you are upset or hurt or have an issue with something that someone's trying to push on you, and they turn around and say you are overreacting and your reaction and your hurt is completely unreasonable, they try to minimize it, they try to gaslight it, they try to say fundamentally you are not allowed to have that reaction, that is a very worrying sign. And as somebody who has many times friends, connections, whatever situations in my life, I've had a lot of times where I've pushed past that point and ignored that, and it's never got any better. Because if somebody disrespects how you feel and doesn't have the ability to respect it, understand it, and apologise for their actions creating it, they cannot have an adult connection, conversation, relationship, friendship with people. Because you have to take accountability. Furthermore, a really important point that I will end on is, I'm somebody that's been told so many times till I'm blue in the face, right? I just love talking to you. You're just such an easy person to talk to, and I want you in my life, blah, blah, blah. Regardless of gender, if you hear that quite a lot, or you hear that from somebody, particularly if it's coupled with the fact that they do nothing to nurture a connection with you, there is no plans to see each other, there's no regular check-in about your life, please do not be flattered by that. past me was really flattered that people liked my personality, that people wanted to have me in their lives, that people wanted to enjoy my time in kind of my company. But what it's actually saying is, I like your energy and I like access to it. It does not mean that they care about you. And fundamentally, if you couple any of those other things that I've mentioned together, if they only talk about themselves, if they never want to make consistent meetings, plans with you, check-ins with you, and if every time you tell them that something that they've done is upset you, or you want to discuss a boundary and they make you feel small for that, on top of saying, oh, they like talking to you, they just want access to your energy. And that could be a friend, a relative, a romantic potential. That, all of those things combined are like screaming red flags, but just one of them, I would observe. You don't have to be reactive. Observe it and withdraw and see what happens, because if somebody just wants access to your energy, it will become apparent. They won't step up. But if somebody really wants you to be in their lives and they mean what they say behind those words, then the actions will match and you'll know. So in 2026, let's all use more discernment. Let's not believe people's words. Let's see their actions. And that way you can speed up the whole pointless process of putting way too much energy into people for way too long. Just see the pattern, observe the pattern, and withdraw. You don't have to give a full lecture. You don't have to be giving everybody pieces of justice all the time. Just withdraw. Just know that that person is not for you and let it go. So hopefully next year we can all waste a lot less of our time on situations that do not serve us.